Well, in ag news, new analysis shows U.S. farmers and ranchers are continuing to reduce per unit greenhouse gas emissions. Data from the Environmental Protection Agency and USDA shows that the agriculture sector accounts for less than 10% of total U.S. emissions. The EPA's U.S. inventory of greenhouse gas emission provides a first look at the 2018 U.S. emissions data incorporated into a new market intel report from the American Farm Bureau. This report finds that per unit methane emissions from livestock has declined since 1990 as livestock producers have increased productivity. Now, during the past 30 years, U.S. milk production has increased by 71%, and per unit emissions of milk have declined by almost 25%. Beef production increased about 50%, while per unit emissions have fallen nearly 8%. Meanwhile, American farmers are producing more crops on fewer acres. This analysis builds on data shared during the launch of Farmers for a Sustainable Future, which is a coalition of agriculture groups aimed at educating lawmakers and finding solutions to the challenges that are being posed by climate change. Well, a very important link to the American food supply chain is restaurants. And they're looking at new temporary ways of doing business to just stay afloat. Traditional grocers are struggling to keep up with increased demand that are being brought on by the COVID-19. Restaurants are turning to grocery sales to make their ends meet. It's a trend that's catching all over the country as large chains as well as mom and pop establishments are looking for new income. Folks like Panera, well, they launched Panera Grocery. That only sells their traditional Panera restaurant items, but also things like milk, eggs, and fresh produce in their 2,100 stores that normally you use to make meals. Sarah Burnett's the Vice President of Wellness and Food Policy at Panera. She says the decision to sell groceries is a reaction to the unprecedented crisis that the country is going through right now. Subway, as well, selling groceries at some of its stores, primarily in 5 states, California, Connecticut, Oregon, Tennessee, and Washington State. The National Restaurant Association says the industry has lost 3 million jobs and $25 billion in sales since the 1st of March. Spokesperson says 3% of restaurants are permanently closed. Another 11% will do so by the end of this month. And a study released recently estimates that the cattle industry losses as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic will reach $13.6 billion. This study, commissioned by NCBA and conducted by a team of industry leader agricultural economists led by Daryl Peel, who is a professor of agribusiness and extension livestock marketing specialist at Oklahoma State University. He did that, and they did that to assist USDA in determining how to best allocate CARES Act relief funds to cattle producers. The study shows that cow-calf producers will see the largest impact, with COVID-19 related losses totaling an estimated $3.7 billion, or $111.91 a head for each mature breeding animal in the U.S. Now, without offsetting the relief payments, those losses could increase to $135.24 a mature breeding animal, an additional impact totaling $4.45 billion in the coming years. Stockers and backgrounders losses were estimated at $159.98 a head. That's a total economic impact of $2.5 billion this year. Feeding sector losses estimated at $3 billion, or $205.96 a head. K-State's Glenn Tonser, by the way, also participated in that analysis. More ag news online at agview.net. We'll be right back.